Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington. I'm your co-host, Meshach Stennett, providing support for my beautiful host, Vincenza. And listen, it's been a great show so far.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Right.
I love hosting
Great
Good Morning
energy.
Wilmington with
Yeah. Who doesn't want to be here in the plaza with us?
Right.
Right?
I know. But it's not over yet.
It's not over. Great energy, great information, and we're just going to keep that going. We save the last for the best because right now we have the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. And with us, we have Natalie Belcher and Erica Saunders. Good morning, ladies. How you doing?
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so first off, loving the colors that you're bringing to the set today, the pink and green and the
Yes.
pinks. Natalie, we've known each other for years now.
Absolutely.
Delaware State University, in the building, of course.
In the building.
Right, so first off, let us just know what you're coming up here to talk about today.
Sure. So again, thank you for having us this morning. We're here to bring awareness to breast cancer, specifically as it relates to Black women and Black History Month. So just to give you a little bit of background about our agency, the purpose and the mission of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is to provide outreach, support, and education services to the people of Delaware. And we are a small but mighty group of women. We have been active in the community for over 30 years. And so, again, just here to support and bring awareness.
Wow.
Excellent. And we appreciate that you're here, not only just talking about the importance of Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition and its mission, but also the impact it has on Black women. So let's talk about that, and I'm going to bring Natalie into this one. Natalie, let's touch on that and let's get right to it. Tell us the importance about it.
So first, let me just say a little. When we talk about history, history is supposed to encompass everything that has occurred before and anything that happens from the present back. One of the things that the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition prides itself on is making sure that family history is the number one proponent for all of us. When it comes to breast cancer, in the Black community, and in other communities, but particularly in the Black community, breast health or health itself is not a top issue. And so what we found in the state of Delaware is that breast cancer is our number one cancer killer. But not only that, it is the number one diagnosed disease in the state of Delaware for Black women and men.
That's
10 to
significant.
15% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer will come from the state of Delaware, highest in the country, okay? And so what we aim to do during Black History Month, but every month, is to educate and to inform our community, Black women and Black men, because we actually are treating now across the state of Delaware 11 men with breast cancer. But more specifically, there are types of breast cancer. The number one type of breast cancer that tends to disproportionately affect Black women is triple-negative breast cancer. It is known as TNBC. It is a cancer that begins in the ducts of the breast and moves very aggressively throughout the breast and even into the lymph nodes. There's no cure, there's no rationale for where and why it is, but once it is discovered, and of course, discovering it is key, that is getting the mammograms, doing the self-check monthly for both men and women, loving your breast and chest is what we say. But once it's discovered, the aggressive types of treatments they're very minimal, but typically there's a chemotherapy, there could be lumpectomy, there could be mastectomy, there could be, and there is usually radiation, and then some type of post-treatment, chemotherapy treatment. And so our goal, again, with the Delaware Breast Cancer, with triple-negative breast cancer, is to employ to the Black communities, to Black men and to Black women, to get yourselves checked, to know your history, ask questions about your family. If you have a family member, whether it's a great-great-aunt, who was diagnosed with breast cancer, it is important that you say, okay, it's in our family genes. Perhaps I can ask my doctor, my primary care, or even a breast surgeon for more information. Well, that information would be this. I have breast cancer in my family. I am 40 years old. I've taken my first mammogram series, and it was clear, But what about genetic connections? And because typically breast cancer involves a genetic connection. And so the thing to do would be to talk about it, to do something about it. That means to get your mammograms and to check your breast monthly, and then to ask about it. Ask your clinicians, what path should I take? Should I find myself on this breast cancer journey?
Right. The importance of regular screening and early detection is key.
Yes.
I know a little bit about breast cancer, and it runs in my family. My mom is a breast cancer survivor.
Wonderful.
But through that process and that journey, it was scary and not knowing. And from what we know, we did not have history of breast cancer in our family. So it was we were blindsided. But now, knowing what she has went through, I've learned so much. And now I'm always screening, because I guess the key to survive and to beat it is early detection. And I think, and you touched on that, Natalie, the importance of that. Now, what if someone doesn't know where to go? Let's give them direction.
Well, the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is all-encompassing when it comes to all things breast cancer. If you are uninsured or underinsured in the state of Delaware, if you need transportation, we provide all of those services as part of our women's health screening team. Natalie and I are part of the survivorship team, so we have a personal connection with breast cancer. I myself was diagnosed in 2017, so I am a 7-year survivor. Natalie is also...
I am a 9-year triple-negative breast cancer survivor.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
So
the fact that we have a personal connection, and again, all of our survivorship teammates are breast cancer survivors, so we can come to the table with the empathy, the support, and just understanding. Like you said, breast cancer diagnosis it's scary.
It is.
And we can come to the table with just providing that support, providing the encouragement, and anything that the survivor might need.
Right.
And so we offer programs. Our signature program is peer mentoring. So once we have a survivor diagnosed and who connects with Delaware Breast Cancer, that connection, by the way, is made either through a friend, family member, or through even the clinicians' offices. We provide information for our clinicians throughout the state of Delaware, our cancer centers, our cancer and breast care physicians. And once that information is shared with the survivor, and by the way, survivor is determined on the day that you're told that you have breast cancer, we name you survivors.
Yes.
And so from there, if contact is made with Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, a peer mentor is assigned to that newly diagnosed patient. And the peer mentor's job is to listen, to interact, contact, but to just be there to support, and then to help navigate through the journey. Our programs, there are a number of programs, and they all can be found on our website at debreastcancer.org. But it is, the essential component is the connection. And so, as Erica said, the survivorship team is made up of survivors. Believe it or not, 9 years it sounds like a great number. We have survivors who've survived 30 and 40 years. We have 23 and 21 years on our team. But significant, but the connection was that they are able to help a newly 1 month or 1 day or 1 week survivor. That's the most significant. And that navigation through caregiving, just through telling your family that you have breast cancer. The Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is there. And we're able, through information and through one-on-one connection, to help you navigate that part.
Wow. So I have a question, because going back to when you mentioned the numbers earlier, right? Delaware is a small state, but we command such a high percentage of women with breast cancer. Why are women in Delaware being disproportionately impacted by cancer? Do we have any of those reasons?
That's an
a great
interesting question.
Because we're asking constantly.
We're asking really constantly. We are locally and nationally and internationally, seeking answers, because there's no real answer. The one thing that I will say, cancer has no respect of age nor person. And so for some reason in the state of Delaware, women, I'm not certain if it's a lack of not going or knowing history or going and following up with appointments, because as you know, nationally, the age of 40 is when we begin mammograms. Right. But that's not the age that we recommend starting to love and to check your chest. As a teenager, a preteen, 10 years old, you know, premenstrual, postmenstrual, checking your chest and checking your chest and then learning and asking questions about your family's breast history.
Right.
And that's significant. Or family's cancer history is even more significant because there are connective cancers to breast cancer. And so we can't tell you why Delaware is high, but what we can tell you is that Delaware is high. And what we're aiming to do is to have our constituents, our brothers and our sisters and our aunts and uncles just pay attention to their bodies.
Right.
And to help to kind of knock that number down for the state of Delaware. 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer a day.
Wow.
Since 2023, I think we've had the most significant impact of breast cancer diagnoses in the country for Delaware. So not sure. That's an excellent question, and we are working to find an answer, actually.
And I just, excuse me, wanted to add on to that. In terms of outreach, Natalie and I are trained to do breast health presentations for Black women. So any communities, organizations, churches that want to get more information about breast health awareness and what can be done to reduce the likelihood that you get breast cancer. We provide those presentations. We also, as Natalie said, we do peer mentoring. So for those that are diagnosed with breast cancer, it's kind of, you know, having a one-on-one support. We offer that. And then we also facilitate a program specifically for women of color called My Sister's Keeper. We are statewide. Natalie runs the Kent County location, and I'm in Newcastle and Kent. So we are doing what we can to impact Black women with breast cancer.
As well as the Sussex County. We have a My Sister's Keeper support group in Sussex County that began last October, and much needed. Those numbers in Sussex County are very high with women, Black women particularly, who are diagnosed with breast cancer.
The Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition has made such an impact on my family's life. I have to make note of this and highlight it because you do provide the education, but more importantly, and Mishak, again, touching on this from experience, you provide the support, because that's really what a woman needs in that moment. Absolutely. Or an individual needs in that moment. Men or women can be diagnosed with breast cancer. And the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition has the resources, the education, and the support. When my mom was diagnosed, we didn't know what to do, where to go, but I had a friend. A shout out to Sue Murray at Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. She was the first person I called, and immediately she provided support, education, and the resources. And that's very impactful, what you offer. And those statistics that you mentioned earlier, Natalie, were high, and they are high. But you're taking action, as you could see. You're taking action, you're providing the education, encouraging regular screening, starting at a younger age. And I think that's important. I think that's where, even I remember when I was younger, oh, don't worry until you're 40 years old. That is wrong. You should be early screening as soon as a teenager, understanding.
Particularly if there's a connection, if there's history, family history. Yes.
Exactly. And I think that's essential. And it's key to early detection. But with the resources that you offer and the education you offer, what if someone is, I guess you would say, scared to reach out? You know, they're afraid, they're not sure. What are some avenues? Because maybe they're afraid to talk to someone, because I know that sometimes it's very hard to tell your family, tell your friends.
I think that's one of the benefits of, again, us being part of the survivorship team, is that, we come to the table with that understanding. And so sometimes, you're right, sometimes people are anxious, afraid, they don't want to talk about it, but just letting them know that we're here as a resource. If, they want to come and talk to us, that, we provide that support.
Yes, that's so impactful.
Needless to say, we've had many examples of newly diagnosed who have been in that exact position. And one of the things that I've heard, and I actually just heard this recently, sometimes it's best or even more comforting to reach out to someone outside of your immediate family structure. And that's one of the things that we can offer as well. I had a constituent newly diagnosed who called just haphazardly because they'd heard of the agency, and I happened to take the call. And I met with her last week. And the one thing that she thanked me for was just being. Right. And so not just as a human being, but being someone who would listen. Someone outside, and actually just a wall to bounce the ball. How am I going to tell my 2 daughters that I have breast cancer, and how do I tell them what to do with their own breast health? And so I think it's important that that our public understands that this agency is for the public. It's for you. Yeah. And we are here. We can answer questions. We're not clinicians. We are simply survivors who are on a mission to help eradicate breast cancer.
Wow.
Passionate about the cause.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So first off, thank you so much, right? On behalf of a husband and a father of daughters, it scares me to hear the statistics for breast cancer in women, but it gives me comfort knowing that we have amazing super women and survivors like you providing the support necessary. So please, before we go, if you can just look, oh, I'm sorry, I knocked over Trent's camera. Please look at the people, and whatever it is that you want to express, however they can reach you, now's the time to let them know.
I'll do mine.
All right, well, I'll just say there are ABCs of breast cancer, which is what I always like to refer to. A is advocacy, right? So the first thing, be comfortable with feeling your breast, understanding your body, and knowing when something is out of order. So if you see something or you feel something, then you definitely want to say something and bring it to the attention of your provider. B is breast health, right? So we're here for mammograms, promoting screening. When you get mammograms, the earlier detection is going to increase your prognosis of full recovery. So again, just making sure that if you delay on your mammograms, make sure you schedule those appointments. And then the C for breast cancer is communication. So you always want to, and as Natalie talked about, having those uncomfortable conversations with your family members, talking about family history, making sure that you know the background of anyone in your family that might not necessarily have breast cancer, but we found that prostate cancer is also linked to breast cancer. So the defects can come from the man's side of the family as well as the female. So just being comfortable, with, talking about family history. And as we come off of Valentine's Day and self-love, self-care is a part of self-love. And so just making sure that you stay up on your mammograms.
Nice.
And I'll just follow up with just saying, I'd like to remind everyone to just love yourselves. And in loving yourselves, it means knowing yourself and knowing your bodies. Erica said it best, self-love is self-care. And so if you feel something, say something. Find a comfort, a confidant, so to speak, to say, hey, I think I felt something under my arm, or I felt something in my left breast. What should I do? If they can't provide an answer, then we're here to provide an answer. We'll help guide you through your navigation into your clinicians, and then, of course, post that a diagnosis if there is one.
Ladies, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all that you're doing.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for continuing to support other women surviving breast cancer. We really appreciate you sharing your story, because I know it can be intimidating at times, but you're not afraid to continue to show your strength, because every day you show your strength that you're a survivor. So thank you for what you're doing in the community and also in the state of Delaware. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Have a great day.
You too.
Wow. Talk about self-love, love, celebrating love. We talked about it all show.
Yeah, love.
And
It's
I
all
love
about
that.
love here in the plaza. And you love and I love being here with you guys today. So thank you so much for having me. Can't forget, shout out to Ivan.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to
Whatever you're
Ivan.
doing, we know you're doing big things out there today. So don't worry. The spot was in good hands.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Mishak, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Good morning, Wilmington. Have a wonderful day.
Peace.
What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Big Ivan, the talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH.com, and I'm here with my wonderful and amazing co-host,
Vincenza.
We just stopped by to tell you to be sure, if you want any information on what's going on in Wilmington and to meet some dynamic people doing some amazing and great things, be sure to watch us live on Good Morning Wilmington on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m.
Oh, Ivan, 10 a.m.
Which he said, 10 a.m.
Listen to me. That's why he has me here. But yes, tune in live, 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday on Good Morning Wilmington.
DETVCH.com.